Hey guys, Tarke here, and I wanted some advice from you guys. So, I'm planning a tattoo, and I'll explain the tattoo in a second, but I've been wanting to get one for a long time. I've been meaning to get one for years and years and years. I've had like a million different ideas, and I just never got around to doing it. And I was chatting to someone recently, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And we just chatting about tattoos. She had a bunch of them. I was like, fuck it, let's just like get one. So I'm committing to an idea, and I've made like a basic plan. So, like, give me some feedback. Do you reckon this is Pogaccini, or you like it needs a bit more work? So, base off is going to be on the forearm on the inside of the right arm. So, it'll be probably from about there to there, right? Fairly large, but also fairly minimal. It's going to be a fox, cat, and an owl face. I want lots of geometric loose lines with intersecting lines cutting between all three of them. Now, I am a fan of color tattoos, but you kind of need to have like balls to go full in color tattoo. So it would be mostly just black, so just very little bits of orange in each one. Kind of like how you see here, right? So the way that I sort of see it in my head is kind of like you have the fox at the bottom. The fox would have the most orange in it. It would have just a little bit like this, just feel like highlights in between shadows and stuff. Then you'd have the cat above it, and it would just have a few markings in orange. I'm going to use the markings that my cat has, so it has kind of like a weird like lightning bolt thing going on. So it'd have like one or two little sections here, and then for the owl, you just do it like in the eyes. You could maybe do it in the beak, but probably just do it in the eyes. And you have kind of like connecting lines cutting through all of them. So if you had the fox at the base here, like if this was the nose of the fox, then you could like cut up through the nose of the fox into like the cheek of the cat, then try and like connect it into the center point here of like the arch between the two eyes and stuff, and do a couple more going down. Like you need to move stuff around and whatever, and this is just like a base idea. I'm going to like send this very rough sketch alongside these three pictures to, you know, a few tattoo artists and like see what they say, maybe get something commissioned and they can like sketch up, and then between the two, like, yeah, this looks cool or whatever. But yeah, I think in terms of like base ideas go, it's fairly interesting. It's not the most unique thing in the world, but it's more unique than like the average tattoo I see on people these days. So I think it's pretty cool. If you're wondering as to why I've picked these particular things, if it's clear to you or not, I am kind of an animal person. The reason why I've gone for these kind of like geometric art styles is you can do them quite minimal. I realize there is a lot of shading on the face, and these aren't exacts, right? So these would be like rough, like base images I would give to an artist, see what they come up with using these just as reference points. But you can go for geometric stuff which isn't too heavy. It's not like blocking out your entire arm. Also, and this is going to sound really weird, but furries have ruined animals, if that makes sense. Super realistic stuff looks amazing, but you then need like an amazing, super expensive tattoo artist. Going for like kind of like cartoony stuff looks really cool. I really like that art style, but furries have kind of like contaminated that. So like go geometric, you're safe, you still get to have like cool hipster animal tattoos, but you don't get associated with the furry dudes. So yeah. Also, when you go for like a more geometric thing like this, it makes it a lot easier to do very base little highlighting sections like this, like kind of the inner workings box, and it also makes it a lot easier to tie all three into one piece. For a long time, I've wanted a cat tattoo for a really long time. And my cat's markings kind of have like Aladdin, Zayn, David Bowie, like lightning bolt thing going on. And when he died, I was like, I really want to get like some kind of thing for that, but I don't want to just have the generic lightning bolt that a lot of people have. So I thought what I could do, cats randomly decided to join into the video. If you look up briefly, kind of see how she's got the gap between the two orange sections, and you kind of get left with a white lightning bolt in between the two. If I show you a little closer to the cam, kind of see how you've got the white lightning bolt. Yeah, you see that? You see it, I mean, I'll put it back down. So it's kind of like a sort of David Bowie thing, still getting to do a cat thing. Hopefully, touch wood, nothing ever happens to Darling, but, you know, it would be nice to have something immortalized there. For foxes, the fox is a weird one. So this is going to sound really horrible. I really like foxes, even though I've had a lot of issues with foxes in my area. So my last cat, which was a stray, was actually brutally ripped to shreds by a fox. And that would put most people off them, but it's like, it's animals, it's in their nature, it's whatever. I grew up kind of watching the Mighty Boosh, and there was a character in there called the Crack Fox. Anyone knows the Mighty Boosh knows what I'm talking about. I used to do a lot of like sketches and drawings of them and stuff. So yeah, it's one of the things which is like, foxes are cool. You encounter them everywhere in London. I go on a lot of walks at night and stuff, and you know, I identify with the foxes are kind of like the homeless of the animal kingdom in London. So I like got to rep the homeless, yo. So that's kind of that. And then as for the owl, so the owl is like the more sensible one of all of these, or it makes the most sense. Well, I guess the cat makes the most sense, but anyway. I grew up reading Beatrix Potter books, because yes, I'm that middle class. And also stuff like Winnie the Pooh, and they had the owl and Winnie the Pooh. Beatrix Potter was kind of cool. When I was younger, I kind of had a owl thing going on with like my hair and stuff. I had the whole like wispy action. People used to look like an owl and stuff. So it's basically like I've just picked like 3 things that I kind of identify with. They're fairly neutral in the fact that, you know, I'm not going to start adorning myself in really heavy religious symbolism or like loads of skulls and super edgelord. They're quite quaint. You can go quite geometric with them. And I feel like it's something which, you know, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, you know, you see some like old dudes and he's got like a small little fucking woodland animal thing. But okay, I can get into that, right? Doesn't look too threatening. Whereas he's like, oh, what's he got? He's like, kill everyone at the age of 50. Like, I'm probably not going to hire him for this job. Also, I mostly wear long sleeves. Having it on the forearm, pretty safe because you can just do that. Boom, I'm now employable. Well, minus the personality and haircut and everything else, but you can get, just, you know, employable. So, you know, I think it's a pretty safe pick all round. If, however, anyone has any like really cool ideas and or suggestions, or any particular like artists that you're like, you should go to this guy's amazing, if you're London based, then do let me know. But yeah, this is just like a little side project thingy that I've spent the last few hours working on after years and years of doing little doodles and sketches. Want to buy beta. This is what happens, GGG. This is what happens when you tease the beta in front of people. And then, yeah, so if the beta gets delayed in my next video, I'm like adorned in like facial tats, piercings, and I've replaced my arms with hooks, then we all know who to blame. I'm Tarke. This is hopefully going to be something which will happen in the next few months. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Peace.